Stupid ant, man. Oh, okay, so we're gonna have a problem here, Mike? We're gonna have a problem? Alright. Hello, everyone. I am Pale Rider, and it's been a while since I've talked. And that's on me. That's 100% on me. I've been too busy streaming and trying to consistently play Rocket League, I guess, at this point. But I have recently come across some stuff that I really didn't think about in the right way. And now I do. Now I have a very good grasp of what's going on. And what I am referring to is the Peeps situation with Ayyjayy not going to G2. Apparently, he had an option to, and he said no. And I thought, interesting, why would he do that? And now I've realized. And Peeps don't have an org, and they say merch is coming soon, right? So what does this mean? What does this mean? Well, what this means is essentially Peeps and Ayyjayy, they are trying to do the American dream. And what the American dream is to build your own business as of right now. As in, instead of working under a company like Walmart, McDonald's, Pizza Hut, etc., instead of doing those, you are essentially working for yourself. And how can they do that? How can Ayyjayy, Gyro, all them do that? Well, what an org offers you in RLCS is financial stability, and that's about it. Orgs are paying you between $5,000 to $10,000 a month, which is incredibly generous, right? However, if you're already making that much money a month from streaming content, stuff like that, TikTok, I don't know, then what's the point of having an org? Because at that point, you are working under someone. You are a bought and paid for person. That can be switched around at a moment's notice, honestly, because it's an org. So what they have done, especially Peeps, and I'm really talking about Peeps here, I believe that what they are doing is they're already making money from content, but why not be an org, become an org, right? And then get the backers, get the sponsors, get the people backing you with money that they do with orgs like FaZe, G2. They have people that give them money to do what they do, and just claim all that money for themselves, right? Because they're the owners of their org. And also maybe expand, as in, let's say the Peeps make enough money from content and backing and stuff like that to become Peeps in CSGO, Peeps in Valorant, anything. I think they are trying to cut out the middleman, which is the orgs, which, by the way, sorry, I'm really hiccuping now, by the way, is a very, very smart thing to do. If you're already financially stable, you don't need the money from the org. But here's what the orgs are doing to stop individual players from trying to cut them out, because right now it seems like players are trying to cut out orgs as much as they can, and orgs are about to cut out individual player freedom, right? So what that means is the orgs have been pressuring Psyonix, Epic Games, Rocket League to franchise. And if you don't know what franchising is, it's basically like if you take RLCS and you put 16 teams in RLCS, there can only be 16, right? Now that doesn't mean that there's 8 that are consistently there and the other 8 are through the quals. We mean actually the 16 same teams every single time. And these orgs pay for their spot in RLCS. So let's say G2 or FaZe, let's say FaZe wanted to be in RLCS. They would pay Psyonix $1 million, $2 million, $3 million for a spot in the RLCS, and then pick up a roster and keep that roster essentially forever if they wanted to. Those players could become 35 and still be under G2. Now, Why do switches happen? Why do new players get into the scene? It's not due to being bubble players and showing great promise. It's usually due to the players that are already on your team. Like, let's say G2. Let's take G2. If Chicago wanted more money than he was making from their salary, let's say he's making $7,000, and Chicago said, "Look, we're winning majors," which will never happen under that roster, but let's just say he does. He says, "We won RLCS last year. I want a raise. I want from 7,000 to 14,000." G2 can just go, "No, I don't. No, I'm not giving you that." And essentially, they can just drop Chicago, and Chicago, if no orgs are willing to pay him $14,000 a month, then essentially he's gone. He's done. There is no way to get back in. You can't get a team of players that aren't in RLCS and just get back in. You need someone to help you with that. And so what happens is the orgs have all the power. As in, if players want more money and they don't want to pay them that money, then they'll just cut them out and then bring in a guy that's not in RLCS that's looking to get paid, because the bubble scene will die, as in weekly tournaments, stuff like that will just die and cease to exist. And so a lot of guys will be making nothing, and the big top RLCS top 16 teams will be making a lot. And so if you're a guy in the bubble... Hello, I am recording my editing process of this, and while I was talking about, okay, RLCS teams will be making this much, everyone else will be making nothing, right? Does that sound like anything to you guys? Because what that sounds like to me is the shrinking middle class of the American economy. Because when you stop letting mid-tier players make money, then you're either higher echelon, you're either literally making way more than livable salary, or you're making literally nothing. What does that sound like to you guys? Sounds like the shrinking middle class to me, but that's just my take. I believe that RLCS, if it was to turn into something like that, and I think it already is just like the American economy, where you have a shrinking middle class of people. But yeah, just my opinion. The non-existent bubble at this point, that it would be, you're gonna obviously want to take 7,000 a month. That sounds amazing, right? And so they can just bring in anyone they want that's not in our top 16, or just find a lower tier org that's paying their players only 3,000 or 4,000, 5,000. I don't know, but essentially it just doesn't give players power to do anything, as in to ask for more money or go, I'm gonna leave you guys if I don't get more money. Go ahead, because if the orgs are all in cahoots and they talk to each other, they can just cut you out. It doesn't matter. You're just not in RLCS anymore. But that's gonna do it for me. Just showing you guys what I think Peeps are doing and what I think orgs are going to try to do, and we'll see who wins, right? Because I believe Peeps are headed down a road of no longer needing orgs, and I think orgs are trying to basically say we don't need like very, very great players to be on here if they want more money. But thank you. I'm Poe Ryder, and go to my Twitter, because I'll be finding the stuff that I am talking about, the Peeps going with the merch and things like that on my Twitter. My Twitter is very fun, and my Twitch is very, very good as well. And when I say very good, I mean audio quality good. I actually have my Twitch on the highest audio bitrate or whatever you could possibly have, which means it is one of the best audio qualities you're going to get. As far as video goes, it's not great. It's not going to be as good as any of those people like Squishy or anyone like that. So it's more like a podcast stream where you just sort of listen audio. You can put it in the background, and I have rants. Usually you have Rocket League gameplay, and I get upset about Rocket League gameplay, but usually you'll have like rants like this, just randomly going off in a direction, talking about something just completely random for 10-15 minutes or so, and that's kind of how my Twitch goes. So definitely check that out. We just reached 200 followers on Twitch. We were at 100, I believe, 2 or 3 weeks ago. Now we're at 200, and I'm going to continue that. So But that's gonna do it for me. It's gonna do it for me, Pale Rider. And I did all of this in one take. I actually did this really well last time. I did it again. I had to do this again, and I think the first time was better, but my video wasn't recording, so I don't know what to do with that. Anyway, I'm Pale Rider, and I'm out.